I just closed the doors on my seven-figure coaching business. Not long ago, wrote an email to all of our clients, all of our investors, and told them that I'd made the painful decision that it was time to close our doors. We've helped over 1,000 health and wellness coaches all around the world. We've helped our clients generate tens of millions of dollars of revenue over the last 5 years. And it's been an amazing roller coaster, and a lot of lessons have been learned and a lot of mistakes made. And I want to walk through some of the biggest lessons that I learned over the last 5 years. So hopefully you can hear them and avoid them, and also share some of the wins as well. So before we get stuck into that, I need to rewind the clock back and talk about how the journey started. And we didn't start out as Fortis, we started out as Classified, because we were not a coaching business at the beginning, we were a tech platform. And the reason that came about was this was in the middle of the lockdowns in 2020, the crazy time that I'm sure everybody else wants to forget. And I had just gone through a body transformation. I'd lost a lot of weight, got into the best shape of my life. Shout out to my coach, Mark. And I was going to lots of fitness classes, health and fitness classes around London. So Barry's Bootcamp, Reformer Pilates, yoga, and call it my ClassPass era. And when the studios and gyms closed, we all had to work out at home. And there didn't seem to be a very good option for those instructors to teach classes, continue to teach classes and get paid, other than doing Instagram lives or sending out Zoom links. So I got two co-founders, one who's a very good friend of mine from the finance world, another good friend of mine who I'd worked with at Just Eat, which was the company we'd worked at previously. He was a tech wizard, and we got together, put our heads together, and then got a platform up and running and live. And it was probably the perfect timing, because it was November 2020. The world was going into seemingly another lockdown, and this platform hit the market and it sold like hotcakes. Instructors were joining so fast, members were paying for subscriptions. It was a great time. If I remember correctly, I was staying in an Airbnb in Dubai, and I remember looking out into the marina and thinking, I wonder which yacht. But as always with startups, it doesn't always go that way. And while the business was booming, we went out and raised investment. So as a tech business classically does, and we raised, $500,000 to build out this tech platform, and basically back on this trend of the at-home fitness market booming. And in February 2021, we closed our investment round, which was amazing. We had our record month. We'd only been around for 3 months. We had a record month. And then March, we started to hire people because we raised this investment. So we started, as a classic tech business would, to spend our investment. And we built a team of people. So we had some salespeople, some customer service people. And what we realized was the more we helped instructors generate revenue and generate members through marketing and sales efforts, and also retention, the more we generated in revenue, because we didn't do a flat fee, we did a commission. So every single membership they had, we would take a 12% commission share on that. So it was in our interest to help instructors grow their business. So we started to hire people to do that, and we started to learn how this worked in the fitness industry, and we started to get pretty good at it. Then April 2021 happened, and unfortunately, or fortunately for everybody else, the world opened up and the gyms and studios opened. And honestly, it was like a tap just turned off. So all the instructors and trainers went back to the gyms and studios because they didn't want to train at home anymore. And all the people who were training at home, the vast majority also went. So we had a two-sided marketplace, and it basically just collapsed overnight. Now, at this point, we had options on the table, and I would like to say with a crystal ball that going back, I might have made a decision here to call it a day, give investors their money back and basically start again. But that's not necessarily how startups work. So I wouldn't say this was a mistake we made. We had two options. One was to double down, do what Peloton did, what Fit did, other businesses in the sector, just basically blinkers on, head down, just go for it. And eventually it didn't work out very well for any of those businesses because the industry of at-home fitness just didn't take off like we all thought it would. Or we could pivot. We could move the business into something else. And effectively, that's what we decided to do. Now, this is where we pivoted into trying to help personal trainers and fitness coaches because they had been self-employed before the lockdowns and they were going to be self-employed after, and they still needed to make a living. And we'd got pretty good at helping people get results and help them with their sales and marketing efforts. So we decided that we would help personal trainers. And because we'd raised investment, and this is definitely a mistake that we made, because we'd raised investment, we felt we needed to continue trying to become a tech business. So even though we had a part of our business that was helping coaches get results, it wasn't our main focus. We really wanted and felt like we needed to make the tech work. So cue 4 years of trying to make the tech work. We tried to launch our own software products to compete with existing workout software in the market. That didn't work. We tried to white label other software. That didn't work out. We acquired a business in South Africa, which is why I'm in Cape Town now, which is, a silver lining. We tried to acquire a business and get that to work. That didn't work out. And we tried and we tried and we tried for 4 years. And unfortunately, we couldn't get a tech product to be sticky enough to work. And effectively what that meant was we were continuing to try and become a company. And this is where I would say a second mistake was we felt like we needed to be a company and a company brand. So when we branched into the personal training market, instead of looking around the room and thinking this industry is filled with personal brands, maybe we should invest in one of the founders, myself probably would have been the one, investing into our personal brands to help us compete on the coaching side. We didn't do that. We decided to go all in on continuing to try and get the tech product to work, and not investing in a personal brand at that stage, I think cost us, I don't know how much revenue over the years. That led us down a path on the coaching space. So mistake number 3, in order to keep the money coming in and keep the story positive for investors, we wanted to show them growth. And the way you grow classically in investor-backed tech businesses, certainly in the era that we're talking about now, was volume. So how do you get as many customers as you can, as quickly as you can? And the way you do that is by slashing your prices. So that's what we did. We positioned ourselves as the most affordable option. We underpriced massively and we over-delivered massively as well. We wanted to deliver an amazing service. So we hired coaches to work with customers one-to-one. So that meant that margins were basically invisible. So the profit margin was super, super thin. And anything that we did have went to the tech team so we could try and build out the tech. So we just got into this world of when you're making yourself the cheapest or most affordable option in the market, it lends itself to people that are much earlier on in the journey. They need more help. And then you have to hire more people. And this cycle continues and continues on. And there was a point in our business, the point where we broke 7 figures, we had a team of 26 people. It was absolute chaos underneath, not through anybody's fault, through mistakes that I'd made building the business out. And a big mistake for me was I'd become so disconnected to the service that we were delivering because I was so busy trying to fight fires on tech, deal with investors, try and get the business to a point where it was, potentially sellable in the future or able to raise more funds or able to get tech working again. and I'd become too distant from the product itself and from the coaching. So even though we were helping clients, even though we were helping them generate lots of revenue, it was really, really difficult on the inside. And because we had to grow the team to deliver the service, because we was having lots of new clients come through, because we were so affordably priced, it meant that we had to hire people. Like, we would have to have a cycle where you would need to go and hire somebody. So find someone, hire them, train them, then get them up to a point where they were good enough. Like, that whole process could take up to 6 months, and you're paying someone's salary for 6 months before they're able to really start making an impact. So, and then if the number of clients that you have drops, then you've got too many people, and we were just balance. It was really, really difficult. And I spent all of my time in internal meetings, firefighting. So that was a mistake that we made. And what we did was, we had two products. We were trying to make tech work, and we was trying to make coaching work, and we was trying to bridge the gap, and we were trying to use the brand to do it. And ultimately, what I learned definitely was, just do one thing incredibly well, get really good at it, and then do something else. I think because we'd taken on investors at the beginning, because we felt like we needed to give investors a return, we continued down this tech path. So that happened for about 4 years. And then after 4 years, we got to a point where we decided we just can't continue to try and make this happen. We're going to bankrupt ourselves. So we said goodbye to the tech team. My co-founder left, and we were a boutique coaching business, but we'd already spent 4 years cultivating this reputation of working with early stage coaches. So we found it very difficult then to charge more and have that more premium feel. And to be honest, at this point, I was feeling really burned out, and our investors were asking, when is this going to become a tech business again? And as I zoomed out and looked at the whole situation, it became really clear that most of our investors invested through UK government initiative. The chance of us turning it around and becoming a tech business again were basically slim to none. My appetite to do that had basically gone to zero, and we were not in a position to guarantee that. So made the executive decision to close Fortis down for clients and for investors, and we're just going through that process now. It's pretty much done, and taking all the lessons and learns from that whole experience. So going through each individual one, I think the personal branding one is a massive one. In the education and the coaching space, like, personal brands just reign supreme. Like, really invest in that. Your logo and your slogan just don't make any difference compared to you and the trust you have with your audience. The positioning, so getting your positioning right for longevity, and not just taking shortcuts to get customers cheap and then finding yourself in a situation where you're not making enough profit to have a really enjoyable business. Scaling a massive team is something that I've realized that I don't enjoy. It gets you further and further away from the products and the service that's being delivered. I love working with clients. I love solving problems. I love helping people build their business. And the bigger the team got, the further away from that I got. Also, on one side of things, and this is going to come on to another video that I'll talk about, is this understanding and recognizing the patterns of things that worked really well for us and for the clients we worked with. And every time someone came knocking on our door to join, or every time that happens for a client, they're always the best clients. So realizing in this that actually the next business I build, which is the business we're building now, I want to build a business that has people knocking on my door to work with me. And that's exactly what I want to teach to clients. How do we bring people to us so that we don't have to spend all day in the DMs, all day doing sales calls, hire out a massive sales team, setters, closers, all of that jazz? That is great for some people, but for me, I realized that it's just not for me. And focusing on one thing and doing it really well is massive. They are the lessons that I would take away from that. I'm going to have another video. This is the first one on this channel, so thank you for sticking through till the end. I hope that was insightful for what happened behind the scenes at Fortis. If you hit the like and subscribe, join the channel. I'm going to be posting lots more videos about how to build a business in this modern day and age, not make all the mistakes I made. High profit, super lean, no sales, no hustling, no cold DMs, none of those things. Like, how do you build a business that attracts people to you, gets them to want to work with you, and then actually scale, keeping things lean, but keeping things personalized and bespoke? So if that feels like a business that you want to build, subscribe to the channel. I'll have lots more videos coming. I'll also have some ways to get more information about what we do in the section below this video. And of course, you can drop me a follow and connect on LinkedIn and Instagram also. Have a great day.